Hello everyone and welcome to this video. My name is Ariston and today we are going to talk about Python numbers, arithmetic operations such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, floor division, and also we are going to get the remainder using the modulus operator and then exponentiation. Lastly, we are going to talk about augmented assignment operators. So if you are excited as I am, let us go ahead and let's start coding. Okay, so before we can talk about Python numbers, what we're going to talk about first is let us make sure if Python is installed in your local machine properly. So to check if Python installed in your local machine, go ahead and open your favorite IDE. For my case, that would be Visual Studio Code. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to open a terminal. I'm going to click this button right here, and then I'm going to choose the terminal. So here, I am going to run Python -- version. So if it returns to you a version, for me that would be Python 3.12.2, it means that Python is successfully installed on your local machine. Now, if you don't see a version number here, what you can do is you can download Python in its website. So go ahead and open your favorite browser and then type python.org/downloads. So in his page, you can see a valid installer for your operating system. So this is the latest version of Windows in this date that I'm recording this video. So the latest version for Windows is 3.12.3. So there is a high chance that in the future this would change. It would be a higher number. So don't worry, all of the codes that we're going to use for today would run also on your version of Python. So after you download Python, go ahead and install Python on your local machine, and you can go back to your Visual Studio Code. So here, what you're going to do is you're going to run the Python -- version command again, and make sure that it returns to you a version number. Then you can make sure that Python installed in your local machine. And then you can clear your terminal, and let's close this terminal. And let's go ahead and talk about Python numbers. So here, I created a folder named Python numbers, and inside of this folder, I'm going to create another file. I'm going to click new file here, and then let's go ahead and create number.py. So to create a file that can run Python commands, you just need to add here .py at the end. And then here, I'm going to add a comment. So to create a comment in Python, you just need to add here a number sign or hashtag sign here. Then let's say Python numbers and arithmetic operations. So let's close the Explorer. And then we are going to talk about the two popular data type for numbers. That would be the integer and then the float. So we also have complex, but we're not going to talk about that for today. We are only going to focus on integer and float because this is the most used ones. So for integers, this would accept whole numbers. And for floats, this would accept the decimal numbers or floating point numbers. So for us to be able to understand the data type of int and float, let us create first a variable. So again, a variable is just like a container that can store any data value, and we have the variable name that would reference that specific value. So if you compare it into as a metaphor, you can say that a variable is like a empty box, and you can put anything inside of this box. So maybe you can put here clothes, and another box you can put toys, and you use a label outside the box so that even if you have multiple boxes, you don't have to open each one to know what is the content of that box. You just look at the label and you already know that, okay, that box contains clothes. So you can use that example in creating variables in not just in Python, but also in other programming languages as well. So to create a variable that have the data type of int, the first thing that we're going to do is, let's say, for example, we have a variable age. Let's set that to 30. And then if you want to know the data type of this variable, we're going to use the built-in function print and then the type. So we're going to pass here the variable. So that would be age. And then let's run this Python file by clicking this button on the top. So if you click this one, it would open your terminal, and here it shows the result. So the data type of the age variable that we created is int. And then we're going to create another one. So we're going to create an example for the data type of float. So float will accept decimal numbers. So one of the best example for floating point numbers is what we call the pi. So pi could be 3.14. It's like that one. Then let's try to print the type of this variable. Say print type. Then going to pass here the pi. And then maybe let's comment this out. To comment this out, let's just highlight, and then you can press Ctrl/ to comment out this part or this specific line. And then you can run the Python file again. And as you can see here, the data type is float. Then you can clear this out. So that is how we can create a data type or a variable that has a data type of age and the data type of integer and the data type of float. So let's go ahead and move on to arithmetic operations. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to create a variable first number. Let's set it to, let's say, 10. Then for the next one, second number, let's set it to, let's say, 5. So here, want to first do the addition. So addition, say, let's create a variable output. So that would be the output of the addition of first number and second number. Say here first number plus, and then the second number. And then let's print the output. So print the answer between the first number and second number would be the sum. So sum. And then we're going to use here a comma. Then we're going to access the output variable. And let's try to run this file. It shows here that the sum of first number and second number is 15. So 10 plus 5 will be equal to 15. So let's move on to the next one, which is the subtraction. So we already have here the first number and second number. Just going to change the operator that we use here. Let's add here a minus sign. So first number minus second number, that would be, the answer would be the difference. Then you're going to run this file again by clicking this button. As you can see, the difference between the first number and second number, 10 minus 5, would be 5. So that is subtraction. And then let's move on to the next one. Let's clear this out first. So the next one is multiplication. So for multiplication, we're going to use here an asterisk. So first number multiplied by second number, the answer would be the product. And then let's run this one again by clicking this button right here on the top. Click the button and it shows you that the first number multiplied to the second number would be 10 times 5 be equal to 50 right here. Then let's clear this out. Let's move on to the next one. So for the next one, this would be the division, and the output for division is the quotient. So let's remove this one, change this to quotient. And for the quotient, we're just going to use here a slash. So if we run this one, that would be 10 divided by 5. So it shows to us that the quotient or the answer between first number divided by the second number would be 2.0. So this returns a floating point number. So the reason why it returns 2.0 is because, let's say, for example, you use here a different example. Let's say 10 divided by 4. If we run this one, let's clear this terminal First, it would have a remainder. So it would return to you 2.5 right here. So if you want to only get the 2 here and you don't want the decimal part, what you can do is you can use the floor division. So if you clear this out, and then this would be, let's change this to, let's say, floor division. And then what you're going to do here is you're going to change from slash to a double slash here. And what it does is it only gets the whole number from the answer. It shows you here that using floor division, 10 divided by 4, using the floor division, it would only return the 2. So it doesn't return the decimal part of the answer. And then let's go ahead and move on to the next one. So let's say, for example, you want to get the remainder. Let's just turn this one again and shows here 2.5. Let's clear this out. If you want to get the remainder of division, let's say, for example, 11 divided by 3 here. If you want to get the remainder, you are going to use the modulo operator. You just need to change this one into a percent sign. And here, what you're going to do is you're going to change this to remainder. So we're getting the remainder between 11 divided by 3. So if you run this one, the remainder is 2. So that is how we can use modulus operator to get the remainder of the division. And lastly would be exponentiation. So let's go ahead and change our value. Let's say, for example, 10, then 2 here. Then to do that, we are going to use the double asterisk sign here. So what we're currently doing here is we are raising the first number to the power of the second number. So 10 raised to 2, and the output would be, let's say for now, exponentiation here. And then if you run this one, it shows here that the answer of 10 raised to 2 will be 100. So let's go ahead and clear this one. And that would be all for Python numbers with arithmetic operations. So for the next part, we are going to talk about augmented assignment operator. So maybe let's just delete this part right here. So this one. Then let's add a comment here at the top. Augmented assignment operator. And when we are using the augmented assignment operators, basically what we're doing is, let's say, for example, we are adding something. So we have here first number, and most of the time, if we want to change the value of the first number, maybe we want to add a 3 here, and we are going to store the value or the output of the addition to the first number still. What we do oftentimes is we access first the first number, that would be 10, and then we're going to add the 3. Then we are going to store it inside a variable first number again. Then if you print this one and run it, it would show you the value of the first number now is 13. And this could work. However, there is a more elegant way to do this by using the augmented assignment operator. So to do that, let's say, for example, here, first number, so that we can make it a little bit thinner. And to use the augmented assignment operator here, if you want to add 3 and store the output to the first number still, what we can do is remove this part right here. And then we're going to use the plus equals 3 here. If we run this one, it would show you that the first number or the value of the first number will be 13. So let's clear this out, and then let's move into the next one. So let's say, for example, we want to subtract. So like we can remove this plus here and change it to minus. If we save this one, this would be 10 minus 3, and the output would be stored inside of the first number. So the new value of the first number is 7 right here. Let's clear this out again. And then it also works for multiplication. Let's add here asterisk. So that would be asterisk and then equal sign here. If you run this one, you're basically saying that 10 times 3, then store the output into the first number here. If you run this one, it shows you first number would be equal to 10, or would be equal to 10 times 3, that would be 30. The new value of first number is 30. It also works for division. So for division, let's say for example here, just going to add a slash. And let's move this part right here. So that would be 3.333, and we have this one right here. And if we only care about the whole number, don't need the decimal here, you can also use the floor division right here. Let's just add 2 slashes here at the front, and then let's run. As you can see, the output or the value of the first number is now 3 right here. And then maybe if you want the remainder, we can also use the modulo here. Then let's run it again. So the remainder would be 1. So that's how we can use the augmented assignment operator to make the code a little bit shorter and more elegant. So that would be all for our discussion about Python numbers, arithmetic operations, and also the augmented assignment operators in Python. So I hope you enjoy our video for today, and if you do, please give us a thumbs up and also subscribe to the One Code Camp channel. And thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you on the next one. Have a good day.